The plan of God is that now, having been brought to glory, you as a child of God, you will grow in glory. And you will manifest the glory. You will live in the glory. And don't forget that we spent time yesterday to understand the glory. Look, that understanding of the glory has changed my life. It has explained a lot of things. You remember there were two words that we encountered yesterday. What were the words? The first one. Well, no, tell them, say them in the languages in which I mentioned them. What is glory in Hebrew? Kabod, kabod. K-A-B-O-D. Kabod, kabod. Now, by the way, in most places where that word appears, it is usually doubled. So when he says, tell my father, remember what Joseph said in Genesis 45? He told his brothers, when you get back, tell my father about my kabod in Egypt. So it's always doubled like that. And Joseph was telling them to tell the father about his weight in the land of Egypt. So glory is weight. And you remember in the New Testament, our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is doing what? Is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Glory has to do with weight. And then you remember the second one was the Greek explanation. What was that? Doxa. And doxa has to do with splendor, brilliance, brightness. So when you combine weight and brightness, that's what you have glory. So glory is the cumulative impact of being. Being. When I say being, I mean like human being. When you add up whatever it is, and every component and aspect of what that thing is, the impact of it is the glory of it. Imagine now, if you have a piece of diamond, notice that diamond will be throwing out light. The things that diamond, it will dazzle because it is diamond. The light is coming from every direction, is glittering. But watch, what is making it to glitter is not coming from outside. It's coming from what it is. Is that not so? It's when you add up all the attributes of the diamond, that is what gives it its glory. Glory is the sum total of attributes. I said glory is the sum total of attributes and the impact of those attributes. So the glory of God is when you add up all divine attributes, you add his omnipotence, his omniscience, his omnipresence, his wisdom, his holiness. You add his unfathomable knowledge of everything and everyone everywhere. You add his height, his mercy, his justice, his righteousness. Gather all of those things inside one person. And the question is, how heavy will such a person be? You now understand why God is called the Rock of Ages. Who can move him? If he collides with something, who is going to suffer? So you read in the Bible, Jesus warned them. He said, be careful with this rock. If you fall on it, what will happen to you? You will be broken. And now that you are broken, since I came to bind the broken, there is hope for you. You see, when you fall on the rock, you are the one who is acting. Are you following that now? You are falling on the rock. And when you land, you will break, and then we can gather you together. But then Jesus warned them. He said, if the rock falls on you, what's going to happen? It will grind you to powder. And in scripture, powder is a picture of judgment. It's irredeemable. You say, my friend, and where do you get that from? When they made the golden calf, what did Moses do with that golden calf? He ground it to powder, scattered it on the water. When the image of Nebuchadnezzar, you remember the image that Nebuchadnezzar made, when it was smashed by the stone that was cut without hands, what happened to that image? It was crushed to powder and the wind carried it away. So what that thing is saying is, if you fall on the rock, there is hope for you. If the rock falls on you, your case is finished. But here is the bigger point. Here is the bigger point. Head or tail, the rock will win. I say head or tail, what will happen? It is your outcome that will differ depending on what you do with the rock. But the rock remains unscathed. Maker of heaven.